Hi, we are going to implement a sidebar layout with Turbo CSS. So to give you an idea of what we are doing, this is the browser window. I want to create a sidebar with a logo at the top, possibly some icons and maybe a face here at the bottom, and then the page content would be displayed in the middle. If the user scrolls, this area should be fixed, so it shouldn't scroll, and this area that could have a scroll bar in case the user wants to scroll. That will be just the browser's built-in default scroll bar. So let's do that. We are on Vimla.com. Let's go to Turbo CSS and open the Turbo Playground. This is a place where we can quickly prototype something. Let's start with a base div with some content in it. And for our layout, we are going to create two columns, the left column and the right column. To lay them out properly, and the T1 start shall only be at the top. This is for text styles that flow down the DOM tree. So we shall apply flex layout to it, and the left column shall have a fixed width, say width 64, and let's give both a background color BGC red and maybe BGC blue so that we can see their sizes. Now we want both of them to have like span the entire screen or the entire viewport. So the way we can do that is set the height to 100 VH for viewport height, and because it's a flex container, the bottom one automatically inherited the same or was forced to get the same value. When I don't forget, I prefer to have the colors at the end. Sometimes I do mess them up. It doesn't make a difference. It's just for organizing the classes. Okay, so we want this right column to fill in the entire space on the right. So we are going to add flex1. The flex1 property actually belongs to its parent. So the parent container sets the flex layout. The inner container, we are setting that column inside the flex container should grow to fill the space, available space. Okay, so the right side will contain the contents. We can remove the background color from here, maybe add some maybe add something on the right, just so we can see how the scrolling works. So BGC, I don't know, gray 100. Maybe give it a width of, I don't know, whatever, 400 MXL. So this is our content, just some text in it, maybe font 72, something big, so that we can see it scroll, and also give it a height, some crazy big height, like 5000. So that way when we scroll, we see what is happening. So the left column is scrolling with the view. This is not what we want to achieve. We want this left side to be fixed and only the right side shall be scrolling. So to do that, we have already set the height of the right side. So we could say that in case of an overflow, the scroll bar shall automatically appear. All right, because that was not overflow. Yeah, this playground doesn't show any class errors like the documentation. This will be added in the future. All right, so this is a good start. And now we can focus on the left side. Maybe actually let me do the right side look a little bit better so that it's pleasant to look at it. So instead of having let's remove these, give it a background color of white, and give this a background color of gray, I don't know, 100, and make it a little bit wider, 720, give it some margins at the top and bottom, and give it some shadow, maybe shadow 4 or shadow 8. Okay, that looks good, and maybe some paddings as well. Alright, page title and font, I don't know, something. Okay, so that's our content on the right. That looks decent. Now we can focus on the menu. So let's use a brand background color, and we want to have inside this sidebar, we want to have a container at the top and the container at the bottom for the user avatar. So let's add these two columns. So we have the top one and the bottom one, and I'm going to remove these. Maybe actually give it a color again, and the width is automatically set, so we don't need it there. Not that. Maybe give it a fixed height and the background color, I don't know, orange. That looks better. Okay. So we want this to be a flexbox layout that is vertically aligned. So let's do that. On the parent, let's set it to flex and flex column. And you also want the top column to stretch so that the bottom one ends up at the bottom. So let's add flex 1 here. It's getting pretty good. Here we can remove the background color now, and actually also at the top, because you're done with the layout part. And now for the top layout, we are going to add several icons here. So the first one will be the logo, and then there will be a couple of other menu point entry icons. Okay, so let's add an SVG company logo here. Let's go to tabular icons and use whatever, and let's set the color to white. Oh, there's a button here. And let's copy this, and let me show you. So what we have copied is a complex SVG. We can simplify it a little bit. If we go to SVG RNG, paste markup, I paste it, and then I'm clicking this copy icon. And if you go back here and paste it, it's much simpler. Now we are going to remove these classes, which were, I guess, only used by the documentation side. We don't define those classes, so we can safely remove those. And then we are going to add our own classes instead of these. So let me add class T1 for Turbo CSS, width shall be 44, height shall be 44. Let me remove them. And then we are going to add stroke width 1.5, stroke 1.5, stroke color white, stroke color white, and fill none is fill transparency in Turbo CSS. Okay, let's copy that into our top element. And actually, it seems like I have done something wrong with the size. You can always either set a background color or use border 1, I don't know, orange, that was a bad one, white, to see the size of the element. Note that if you add a border, it will slightly change the sizes, so that's why using a background color is actually better. Okay, and now we want to center this logo, so I'm going to use flex center. That's wrong, not here, here. Okay, now the logo is centered, and you can play around with the sizes, like here's this 44. If it's too much, you can set it to much smaller, or whatever you like. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. Again, I'm going to the background color. I was just using it for the for seeing the actual size of this element. Now, for simplicity, I'm not going to get a new icon for every single one of those. I'm just going to copy paste them. So let's add a couple of them. I assume you can easily find another ones. Actually, I'm going to take one because I want to show you how to do that. So let's find any other icon that we find good enough. Actually, I like this alien. Let's do that. Paste it here. No, paste it to SVG OMG. Paste, copy, text editor. There you go. Now we can remove the class. We can remove the width and the stroke. Okay, let's copy that. And I am going to paste it here right after the class because we are going to use the same class. Oops, I actually removed too much. Okay, like this. And here we remove the SVG. So we can remove the same style settings if we get the SVG from the same source. Obviously, you can tweak it if you need to, but that may be a time saver. All right, so we have set the top ones, and as for the bottom one, we are going to add the user avatar here. Now, for content security policy reasons, I can't add an image here in the playground. But what we can do is just either place a div with a background color or an SVG again instead. For example, like when the user didn't have a custom profile image. So VGC white, rounded full. Let's center this as well. Flex center. It's looking good. And yeah, I'm going to add an SVG user as well. Paste markup, copy. Classes have to go. These go. And those. And let's paste it here. Yeah, the classes as well. Okay, and we change the color to brand and maybe change the size to something smaller and center it, flex center. Okay, that looks good to me. Now, in this case, we're not going to worry about a mobile layout. I was just sharing how the sidebar layout would work. Oftentimes, the mobile view and the desktop view, or the mobile menu and the desktop menu, have so different mechanisms that you would simply show one or the other, but not both. That may greatly simplify your code base. So for example, in that case, this is the sidebar. We might say that on mobile, it should be hidden. And on larger screens, like from V10, it shall be shown. So now if I go to V3, the menu will not be shown at all. And it will be shown from V10 and above. And then you would add your own custom other menu on top for mobile screens. All right, let me collapse the bottom. You can see that the sidebar grows, and as we have seen, the scrolling works as expected. So this is it. That's how you can create a sidebar layout with Turbo CSS.